Ladies and gentlemen, we have our 2012 NCAA Division III Indoor Track and Field National Champion from Illinois College, Missy Norville. Melissa is a very accomplished triple jumper, as she has competed in this event three prior times prior to this year. So obviously she's very familiar with the territory. But what does it take to earn the national title this year in the triple jump?
Uh, this year it was a lot of phase work and a lot of lifting. A lot of lifting for my legs.
Melissa's a very familiar face on the national championship circuit. She won the national title last year in the hurdles, but obviously being a national championship one time is very gratifying, but also today to win a second national title, what does that mean for you? And then you'll be going for a third later this afternoon.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels good just because it's in a different event. You know, people are like, oh, and she can only, hurdle. And I'm like, well, I get here in 3 events, so it's cool to win in a completely different event because it's very different. So.
Obviously, one of my favorite women athletes was Jackie Joy Christie. Was very successful, a very strong role model for a lot of our women student athletes out here today. Obviously, but being in multiple events, talk about how that helps you in your training to be successful in an event like today.
I like it because it uses a lot of different muscles, so I don't get injured, so usually. So I mean, it's just like you use a lot of different muscles, so you'll never get too tired. And at the same time, it's a mental game because anything could happen in one. Like yesterday, I had long and hurdles, so long jump did not go well for me. But I was like, you have to forget because I have hurdle prelims and I don't want to screw up another event. So it's very mentally draining.
Explain to the average person out there that's going to see this great interview, and talk about just how it takes to be successful in an event like the triple jump. It's something you don't really approach yourself to unless you get involved in track and field. So obviously, it takes a little bit of technique. Talk about how it takes to be successful in an event like this.
Oh gosh, I mean today they pushed me. I was the only jumper coming in actually tripling over 40 feet, and today 4 girls went over 40. So and I'm a competitor, so you just really have to compete with the field because it could go bad, it could go well. Today it just happened to go well, and I was like, I set it with my lifting schedule, so I maxed last week and I don't lift this week, and so I should peak at the right time. And I'm like, I mean, honestly, you can just do the best that you can and hope that it works out. And in this case, I guess it did, so I'm happy.
You talk about being a competitor. Obviously, everybody that comes here is a competitor. Obviously, that's part of the mental side of the game and mental side of the sport. When you want to win a national title, talk about the success that it takes from the mental side a little bit. Is it just positive thinking? Is it making sure you have the right glass of water every morning in your apartment or your dorm room or something like that every morning? Is it that regimented or?
Actually, I guess for some people it is. For me, honestly, I eat whatever I want. But I guess but I run and I work. I'll still eat my vegetables and drink my milk and all that. But it's just same time I'm gonna eat fried foods and whatever. But actually, it's funny because meet days I get super nervous to where I usually barely eat anything and my coaches freak out. So it's mentally you have to think my coaches freak out you haven't eaten anything. There's no way you're gonna perform well. You have no energy, and I'm just you gotta trust me. My adrenaline's going. I'm just so nervous. I just can't eat. And so mentally, when people are I don't know if you're gonna do well, you just gotta think. What? Let that go, and you're just perform the way you can and just see what happens.
Okay, so being a national championship and you've been able to have that great fried food, how are you going to reward yourself? Are you going to are you going to tell Coach we have to go to a certain restaurant tonight, or
what
kind of reward do you put out there for yourself tonight?
I don't know. I mean, right now I'm happy, but I know I have hurdles in an hour, so I'm just kind of thinking about that, and then I guess afterward, I'll be able to relax and think about. I'll probably get some ice cream. Actually, I kind of want Cold Stone. So.
Okay, well, we're not going to take her away from Cold Stone, but we know we're going to be very happy. We've been very privileged to have Melissa here, our 2012 national champion in the women's triple jump.